You saw the title. There's more Evo work to do today, so let's jump right into it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We have a lot of small stuff to do again today. Right now, there's a lot of like buttoning up stuff we're doing on the car. We're getting prepared for that first start, getting the base tune on the car, all that kind of stuff needs to happen. And so first off, I want to go through and wipe this thing clean. I wanted to hang on to all this stuff that's on here right now, but I've already marked off a majority of this stuff. So I'm going to make it clean. What we haven't done, we'll write back on it, and then I'll write down all the new tasks because there's a lot of new stuff, a lot of small buttoning up things we have to do. Yeah, let me wipe this thing off and we'll get started. All right, we got the whole board cleaned off. Everything's written back on there. I got things sectioned off. We got engine, suspension, driveline, electrical, pre-tune base map, post-tune base map, interior. I'll have to add more stuff to that because obviously it's empty. And then break-in procedure, I got paperwork for all that. We're gonna have to break in absolutely everything. We have new rear differential, new transfer case, new transmission, like everything needs to be broken in, embedded in, all that good stuff. And then check off my fluids, all that stuff that I put in the car. Final piece, which I have asterisk right here, check over the entire car, all the bolts that I can find or get to, that I can see. Anything that has a blue or red paint line on them, that will tell me that they are tight. And yeah, it looks like a lot right now, but all this stuff is very little pieces. And so, yeah, we got quite a bit to do. So let's start checking some things off the list. So we're going to crawl back into the car and start working on some of the wiring and stuff that needs to go back where it's supposed to be. One thing I did notice doing that list, I need to get the back of the car jacked up because I do need to run the rear brake lines. Being as we switched to those stainless steel lines, it's a full kit, so it replaces everything. And so I may need to drop the gas tank again to get those in there. We'll figure that out at some point. But I do need to get the back of the car up in the air as well to get under there and do all that. Because right now we're sitting kind of not like terribly leaned, but the back is definitely almost on the ground. So we need to get that up in the air. But right now I gotta work on this stuff. I'm gonna get all this stuff out of here so I don't get anything scratched. Hey, there's my 14. I was wondering where that went. I was legitimately just looking for that and I couldn't find it. What do you know? Hey, real quick, do you guys think I should get a new in-cabin air filter? This one's a little bit nutty, but I think it'll be fine, right? I'm not 100% sure why I removed the ECU, but that gives us a chance to paint this bracket. So we'll get this thing off of here, get that thing looking nice. I did try to go through and like do all these little brackets inside of here, so I might as well do this one too while it's out, right? I'm gonna crawl in here. We gotta get all this wiring here goes over this way. This was all the wires that went to the ACD. So I gotta be sure and put like ends or something on these to kind of keep them from being just exposed. And then I want to clean up a lot of this stuff right here, make this a little bit cleaner in here. Back in the day, these were pretty cool, but I have a turbo timer in here. And I'd like to just get rid of that as well. I need to trace out these wires because I didn't hook this up. The shop that I used to take the car to all the time, they did it for me back then. And so, yeah, I got to figure out how to get this just out of here in general. So I'll trace out these wires at some point and we'll remove this turbo timer. That is a piece of JDM history, I would assume, being a Greddy full auto turbo timer. I don't see these much anymore. No one really talks about them anymore. But several years ago, they were all the thing. You needed to have one of those for sure. What did I write here on this tape? Well, frig, don't rip it all so you can read it. Under shifter cables. Okay. So this goes under the shift cables right here. So we'll pick those up and we'll run it right under there to the other side. You know what? Since we're here doing all this, I do have a short shifter that I could throw on here and we could just remove the shifter cables. That way I can remove the shifter cables from here and get some more like space without having to like bend them or whatever to get this bracket out of here. Maybe I'll do that. Let me go in the house and grab that short shifter and we'll see what we can do here. All right, we've got the Torque Solution short shifter as well as, get this bolt out of the way, as well as these shifter base bushings. They'll go right into here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing out. I do have to, I just placed the order for it because I realized that after I got it out of the box that I didn't have this retainer thing, and I looked it up real quick, and you do have to have one of those because this one will not come past this piece right here, at least that I'm aware of. And so I just ordered a new one. We'll get that here and we'll slide it down over that, but we can go ahead and go through the rest of the install while we're here. We'll get that, and then we also need that's like a 10mm socket. This guy comes up. I need a wrench. I'll have all the tools eventually. Just gonna start getting out like everything and just bringing it into the car with me. That guy, whoopsies, is off. Well, it's not really off yet, but it's gonna be. That guy, I'm gonna leave that real quick. Clip comes out. We'll get that off of there, and then I can go through and take this guy off. There's some really old grease on this thing, which is rather unfortunate. Okay, so that twists. Gotta keep that in mind. So I know I was doing a lot of talking there and wasn't really showing much, but I feel like if you're doing this, it's all self-explanatory as far as what you're looking at there. And that is that. So this should come right off now. Huzzah! Okay, now we gotta pop off these little guys and put those on the ends of our new shifter. And then we'll add some grease and we can pop this thing back on. But this is what I was talking about. This big knob right here is welded onto the shifting shaft here. And so this won't go past it. I'd have to cut it off, and I don't want to cut it off of the stock one in case we ever decide to go back. So I ordered another one of these pieces right here, and this one doesn't have that. It just slides right over, so it will be easy to take care of. So now what we can do is take off our shifter base, and that should allow us to move these cables enough to get that bracket out of there. Now I can pick up this, get the shifter cables up and out of the way. There we go. Okay, took those brackets out back, got those things sprayed down with some paint. We use this SEM direct to metal black paint, works super good. Became a big fan of this here recently. Yeah, brought them inside, hung them on our very fancy drying rack. This thing is very hard to come by, but we're gonna go ahead and use it because it does the job. And then we can move this whole big thing in one go, hopefully. Yeah. No, under. Okay, under we go. Good Lord, that seems harder than it should be. Yeah. So this is where all these plugs go right here. Let me just grab the camera. Luckily, these wire clips are color coded. So, well, not coded, I guess, but they're white, gray, and blue, and these are white, gray, and blue, so it's kind of hard to mess that up. And then we got a couple grounds, and that's about it. Okay, we got the computer plugged back in. All the wires ran back around to the other side. We got that bracket back in there. It looks super nice. You can't see it. It's black. It's dark in there. Now we got the shifter and all that stuff put in there. Now we just got to finish it up a little bit. If we zoom in, we got the tips off the OEM shifter, got them put onto that one. We got brand new grease, as you might be able to see, maybe not. We did get some blue Moto grease on there. So now we can hook everything back up, but first we have to get out these rubber, these old poopy bushings, and we'll put in these fancy new ones. I didn't think they were that in there. They have like a metal sleeve as well as this. Maybe you can push out the bottom. There we go. Watch your fingers when you're doing that. Yeah, so we got this guy, this little metal grommet, and then these bushings. Continue to watch my fingers. The last thing I want to do is stab myself in the hand with a screwdriver again. I've done that several times throughout this project. It does seem to be the way to do it, out the bottom, and then we can pop out the bushing itself. So wipe it out. Each of these little guys has a little groove. If my camera focuses, I will be able to show you. There we go. See that little notch there? So one goes on the bottom, one goes on the top. Just gonna go through and put them all on the bottom first. All right. Where's me sockets? All that's on there, and now we can reassemble this here spring and all that. And we should just be able to pop on that new piece once it shows up, and we'll run the bolts back through. And so we'll go to the 12 Newton meters, and these things will be locked down. I'm very curious to even know if these like harder bushings that we just put in here will even be noticeable. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we'll find out, won't we? So as I've been working in here, I've been thinking about this turbo timer, and I think I'm gonna leave it in here actually. I mean, for one, it's a pretty cool piece from an early era. So we'll leave it on the car, we'll plug it up, and we'll make this thing work. But for now, let's unplug it and get it out of the car and out of the way. Just gotta get in here and put these little pins, these little guys, back into the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. It's kind of up in there, but I think I can get to it from here. I'm pretty sure I went from the top of the dash on the clutch, but we're gonna try it this way first and hope for the best. Oh, come on, you're right there. Bro, go up. Aha, come on. You're so close. Where did my light go? What is happening? Ouch. What am I laying on? I don't even know. Aha. Did you hear that click? I'll bet you did. It's in there. As we were out here working, our new exhaust bolts showed up. The ones that, if you didn't see the last video, the ones we had on the car, they already started to rust, like the nuts and stuff had surface rust on them. So went online and we got ourselves some ARP stainless hardware. So we're gonna go under the car and swap those out while we're here, because why not? And there we go. Not only do these look 10 times better, they'll also function 10 times better. Those should last forever. It's under the car. Maybe I didn't need to replace those, but just something about getting surface rust on a bolt and a nut that hasn't even seen any of the elements yet just didn't really spell a good sign for me. So that's done. Okay, next up, I need to hardwire the fuel pump. I didn't do that whenever we first put in the fuel system and all that. We just used the OEM wiring, but now that we've done all this stuff and we're upgrading the power and all that kind of stuff, I need to hardwire it. And so I have the DIY hardwire kit from Radium, but I did it based off of their instructions the first time. And it says here, this includes dedicated fuse, relay, 10 gauge wire, etc. It is recommended to use the OEM fuel pump wiring to trigger the fuse relay power source for each pump. So we just have one pump. So what my thinking is, and this could be wrong, so let me know. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to this wiring today because I want to do some more research, I think, but I have gotten distracted and I have gone down the rabbit hole of online forums, and it seems like it's been so long since any kind of like updated information has been done with this fuel pump stuff, with this wiring. It's just, honestly, it's getting me more confused than it is anything. But I'm still looking up some stuff here, and it's taking up all my time. I've been looking at this for like an hour now, maybe more than that. I'm just trying to deep dive here. Maybe I'm getting confused and I'm overthinking it, which is 100% possible. But yeah, we're taking up a lot of time here, but I gotta figure it out somehow, you know? It's wild how difficult that was seeming to be. But it's probably just me not understanding or not knowing what I don't know. But either way, we'll get that thing figured out. Trying to get as many wires cleaned up as I can while the interior is basically empty. That's the thing. Like, yeah, the interior is empty, but also I don't know where a lot of the stuff goes. Like the console, like it screws in here, and I don't want to be punching the wires with screws, and I don't want to be like running wire and tying it down permanently and then having to move it, creating more work for ourselves in the future. But it might just have to be what it is, and we can adjust it later, you know what I'm saying? If I can get this thing, if I can get this area ready to go to put the dash in, that would be ideal. As you may have saw in the last shot, I went ahead and removed our HVAC piece here because we are going to a double din, like a screen radio up here. And so we have to relocate our HVAC unit down to here. And you do have to trim some of the brackets here on the dash support to get this to go down here and to fit properly, and so the cables work and all that kind of stuff. So I figured while all this was out, now would be a good time to go ahead and mark this stuff with a marker. That way I know where to cut it. I don't have any like cutoff wheels for my Dremel right now. All out of those. I tried to find some. I don't have any anywhere, so we'll have to go get some of those, but I do want to just go ahead and continue marking this. Now I guess in theory, since we have the entire dash out, it looks like I could just take these things off. They're just little side supports, and there's 2 bolts on each side. I could remove those and just cut them out that way. I think I'll do that. Okay, so both of those bolts were actually super loose. We got the bracket off of there. This is the section I'm gonna cut. This is on the left-hand side, closest to the driver's seat. And I did find a cutoff wheel for my Dremel, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. Okay, got this bracket ground down. There is the piece in the section that we took out. It really didn't take that long, about 2 minutes. And we took I put like a sandpaper bit on my Dremel, and we kind of sanded down the edges so nothing's really sharp, all that kind of stuff. So we should be good to go there. And so now we can mount this thing back on. Now I realize this is it's a little early to be thinking about radio stuff, being as we're in the spot we're in. But I figure while the dash is out, there's not better time to do it than right now. So might as well chop, you know? Hot. This one was a little bit tighter, a little more intricate, but nothing our round file couldn't fix to get things smooth in there. But that little section right there on the corner is what we took out, and we should be good to go. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off here. We got a lot done today, but it doesn't feel like it. We knocked off quite a few things off the list, and it's not gonna show on camera, but we got a lot of the wiring and stuff sorted out and everything. So happy about that. Happy to keep moving forward. We're just knocking out tedious things, and so hopefully in the next video we can get the dashboard in and all that stuff and just keep moving forward. And so yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much as always. If you guys have any comments or questions, drop those down below and I'll be glad to help much as I can, chat, whatever. And if you also have any information about that radium wiring and all that kind of stuff, drop that down there as well. Would love to see it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.